So it looks like we finally got information on the future of DC games and arguably the most renowned franchise, Batman. Recently, David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers, spoke out about the future of WB in many of their games. This extends to Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, and of course, Batman. This comes from an article by Insider Gaming titled Warner Brothers Games Focus on Batman, Mortal Kombat, and Hogwarts Legacy Moving Forward. In this article, they go in length about some of the changes, some of the details, and some really important stuff. And the article reads, the last year plus for Warner Bros. Games haven't been the best for the company, and Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav admit that. During the company's latest earnings calls on November the 7th, Zaslav said that the game business is substantially underperforming its potential. This comes after the financial disappointments such as Multiverses and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League lost the studio more than $300 million this year alone. Now Warner Brothers Games is going to put more emphasis on its most successful franchises moving forward. So yeah, as you guys probably could have expected, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League lost a lot of money. I want to be the first to say I really love the Suicide Squad series. I think it's really cool. I actually thought the movies was good. The soundtrack was really great as well. But you know, I love the Suicide Squad. I used to read the comics about them, but the game wasn't necessarily the best. I think there was a lot of negatives that came with it. I thought there was a lot of things that they could have done better. I actually do like live service games, but obviously Suicide Squad really missed the mark. And from what I can tell, and this is what I think I saw in an article not too long ago, that they're going to be kind of stopping Suicide Squad in the near future. I don't really see the game going to have any more service in the near future, so it's kind of sad. Mainly because that time could have been invested into another game that could have done better. So with that game probably going to be shutting down within the next year, maybe two, if we're being a little bit optimistic. It's really unfortunate that it happened. Now when it comes to Multiverses, I know it's on its 4th season or something like that. I think that was recent, like a week or two ago, they released their 4th season, which is an achievement in itself. But with that said, you know, it's a Smash style game, and there's always that question, at least I've always seen from Smash players or players who's played this game, why would I play this when I can go play Smash? I don't know if that's a healthy mindset, but obviously it looks like Multiverses and Suicide Squad did lose them a lot of money, and so they're going to be moving forward to more titles that are more successful, which makes a lot of sense. Continuing on, I think we're through some of the worst, and it hasn't been pretty on the gaming business, as I've said during the call, but we have 4 games that are really powerful, and we're going to focus on those 4 primarily. We're going to go away from trying to launch 10, 12, 15, and 20 different games. I think we have a real chance now with focus to have the gaming business be steadier. We have 4 strong and profitable game franchises with loyal global fans: Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and DC, in particular Batman. We're focusing our development efforts on those core franchises with proven studios to improve our success ratio. Now, personally, I actually think this is a really good thing. I think one of the best things about Warner Brothers games are whenever they're focused on specific titles. Obviously, one of the biggest things that a lot of studios, not just Warner Brothers, but a lot of studios are trying to push for is the live service method, or the live service model rather. And while I don't actually dislike live service games, I just think their execution needs to be really, really good. At least with Suicide Squad, the reason why it failed is because it had Rocksteady, a studio that's known for their single player titles, kind of forced them into trying to make a live service game when that's not their specialty. Certain studios specialize at certain things. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can dip their talents into other things and be successful. And obviously this is pretty apparent with Suicide Squad. That's just how it goes. You have to kind of follow what Warner Brothers want to do if you're one of their studios, and that's just how it is. It sucks and it's unfortunate. It makes worse quality games, but I do think this is actually a really big positive. Hogwarts Legacy is a game I covered over on my main channel quite extensively. It was a really great game. I think it did really good. I wish there was a little more to it. There's a DLC coming up, so that's really cool. And with Hogwarts Legacy 2 coming out in the near future, you know, that's really positive. I don't play fighting games, so Mortal Kombat, you know, not something I'm an expert on, but from what I know, it does well. I have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to Game of Thrones. All I know is there may be some Game of Thrones phone games or something like that, but not familiar with any Game of Thrones games. And then of course DC games in particular, we have Batman, and then of course that Wonder Woman game that's in production right now that's going to be taking advantage of the Nemesis system. I think that's healthy. I see some people saying that the Batman game will have a Nemesis system. I don't really see that happening. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but at least for Wonder Woman, I'm not a big fan of her, but I do want to see what that game brings to the table. And if they're going to put very good focus on those games and to make them be successful and do well, then to me this is actually a really positive thing. And while some people want to see maybe a Superman game, want to see some other games, One thing that you guys have to keep in mind when it comes to Batman specifically, because again, they said that's going to be their particular focus, Batman has been selling really well. From the recent VR game, we talked about it briefly before I stopped making content on the channel a couple of months ago. I think that was one of the last games we talked about. And since then, from what I can tell, it's actually been doing really well. I actually have friends, and I'm talking about trusted friends for like 20 years, who actively play that game, and the VR game is doing really good. The sales numbers are solid, the gameplay is solid. I'm gonna probably have some of that showing on the screen now. And Batman being a strong IP, it makes a lot of sense for them to focus on this. Now, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. Are you guys actually looking forward to another Batman game? Do you want them to continue? If Rocksteady gets their hands on it, are you like invested in Rocksteady? I do think Rocksteady do make good games. I just think that if you put them in situations where they don't like actually are good at it, they're probably not going to do as well, and that's probably what we saw with Suicide Squad. I'm curious what you guys think about Rocksteady as a studio now after the Suicide Squad fiasco, but yeah, let me know down in the comments. Warner Brothers seems to be doubling down on making sure that their 4 franchises are successful. If they do Batman correctly, we may see some other games, like maybe a Superman game, some Green Lantern, something like that would be really cool. But hopefully Warner Brothers can like really focus on getting Batman in a good spot, get their other games in a good spot, start making some good money, and then maybe start branching out to other games and doing it right. If you guys are liking the content that you're seeing here, consider subscribing to the channel. That helped me out quite a bit. I'm going to be covering all things superhero games, so that always helps out if you guys subscribe. Leave me a like, that helps too, and I'll see you guys in the next one.